We're experiencing shocking Premier League results already. Yes, this is what you expect towards the end of the season. And look at the top of the table. Shocking results as well. Liverpool, or I would say Arsenal, picking up a draw away at Wolves, the game they were supposed to win. Look at what's going on in the English Premier League. Crystal Palace losing at home to Burnley last week. It was a very shocking one. A lot of shocking results is going to happen. More to come as well. Look at what's going on last week. Newcastle, pick up a win away at Tottenham Hotspur, and they sacked their coach, almost immediately after the game. So it's going to be more shocking results to come towards the end of the season. Teams are fighting to survive through the relegation. The relegation plays why teams are struggling to, qualify for the Champions League and also to win the league. So expect more shocking results this weekend, and we have big games this weekend as well. The game this weekend are Manchester City against Newcastle. That's a very huge one this weekend. Tottenham Hotspur will be hosting Arsenal, another superb tough fixture as well this weekend. Everton, who defeated Man U at the Old Trafford, will be hosting Manchester United in the reverse fixture. It's always going to be a very tough one this weekend. So don't be surprised. Don't be surprised if you witness shocking results. Shocking results till the end of the season. And we're going to be previewing every single game and also giving my predictions as well. So stick with me. If you're new to this channel, hit the like button, subscribe. If you're new to this page, please hit the follow button and as well share this video also. Now let's get into the first game of this weekend. And that first game will be Aston Villa, because there are a series of games that will be held the same time on Saturday. Now, there was a game that was played already during the week, which was Arsenal against Wolves. That produced a very shocking result as well. Now, Aston Villa will be hosting Leeds United. For Aston Villa, they had a series of bad results at home until the very last game, in which they won against Brighton at home 1-0. They need to prove themselves, having again. What I mean in this case is knowing fully well that they are a very good team at home. They need to also prove themselves that yes, despite the fact that they've had series of bad results at home, with the loss against Brentford and Everton 1-0 at home, after the win against Brighton, they need to also show that they found that form back, they found that rhythm back. They are now a better side than they were in the last couple of games and with the last poor form they've had at home. Aston Villa against Leeds United. If you want to talk about the history between these two sides, Aston Villa had the best run of form and history. But there was a worry. The worry is Newcastle defeated Aston Villa in the FA Cup, but this is the Premier League. It is different. Now, having the likes of Tammy Abraham coming to the side, having the likes of Rodgers getting back in form, getting players who were not really in their best of form coming back into the team is a very, very good one. Now, we need to take a look at how this team has actually felt in the last couple of games. The first leg ended in a 2-1 victory for Aston Villa, away at Leeds. But we know Leeds United, the last time they played away at home, they got a draw away at Chelsea, which is a very good one. Calvert-Lewin did not play that game, but you could see the likes of Kama, the likes of other players step in, Nemecha and the rest, step in, and they got a result away at Chelsea. Now, can they do it? Can they do it, away at Aston Villa? That is going to be a very, very tough one, for me. But that's not to take anything away from Leeds. The previous game against Newcastle was a narrow victory, 4-3 ended that game. They've had some series of good results away at home. In fact, in the last 5 games, they've only lost 1 away from home. That's Leeds United. A draw against Brentford, a draw against Sunderland, a draw against Liverpool, a loss against Newcastle, and another draw against Chelsea. So these are very, very good results, for Leeds United. And that brings me to the game against Aston Villa. It's going to be hard for Aston Villa. It's going to be hard. That brings me to 2 results. 2-1 victory for Aston Villa and 1-1 draw Aston Villa against Leeds United. So those are my predictions, but I'm going to stick with 1. My prediction for this game is Aston Villa 2, Leeds United 1. I think the quality of Aston Villa would just put them ahead of Leeds United. Now to the next game, Brentford against Brighton. Brighton lost at home, lost away from home in the last 2 consecutive games. They lost away at Aston Villa, they lost away at Fulham. Those are late winners. Now, those are the quality to see of games. They don't have it. Right? They are playing against Brentford. The Brentford side who drew against Arsenal. A Brentford side who lost against Nottingham Forest at home. A Brentford side who won against Sunderland, lost against City. So, they've really been inconsistent. Really been inconsistent. Now they are playing against a Brighton side. Now, this game has been very, very close. Has been very, very close between these two sides. Um, it's going to be difficult for Brentford, for Brentford, and also for Brighton, because trust me, the first leg ended in a 2-1 victory for Brighton. Playing away at Brentford is never an easy game. With the likes of Brighton actually springing up surprises. But with the draw for Brentford at home in the last game, I think they can just see this off. My prediction for this game is Brentford 2, Brighton 1. Now to the next game, Chelsea against Burnley. For Chelsea, this is no brainer. They should win this game. But don't take anything away from Burnley. This Burnley side pick up a very, very surprising result against Crystal Palace. Let's not forget that relegation threatening side are the most informed side this season, or right now in this last period to the end of the season. If any team is struggling, for the relegation or to go back into the championship, they just spring up these surprises. They just spring up a different kind of result. Look at what Leeds United did to Chelsea last week. Chelsea were leading 2-0. Leeds United came back and drew that game 2-2. Look at what Burnley did last week against Crystal Palace. 3-2 in that match. Look at what Wolves did against Nottingham Forest. It was 1-1 draw away from home. So look at what West Ham did to Manchester United. It was a 1-1 draw. So you see the relegation threatening side, they are in an incredible run of form this season, and they are capable of springing up shocking and surprising results. But that's not to take away anything from Chelsea. Chelsea have the quality. Chelsea have the form going on for them. Chelsea have the home back in the home form. Chelsea have everything, to pick up result against Burnley. Right? Burnley has only won one game in their last 5 games in all competition, while Chelsea have won 3. This result in the last 5, Chelsea has not lost. The likes of João Pedro is in an incredible run of form. The likes of Garnacho, even if he's not picking up, you could see what Estevao is doing. You could see what Pedro Neto is doing with an hat-trick in the last game. So I think the quality of Chelsea will always show. My prediction for this game, the Chelsea against Burnley, is Chelsea 2, Burnley 0. Now to the next game, West Ham against Bournemouth. The last game for West Ham at home was a draw against Manchester United, which was a very good result for them. They should have won that game. They considered 95th minute or 96th minute in that game. I played against a Bournemouth side. A Bournemouth side that somehow just gets results. In the last 4 games for Bournemouth, they've not lost away from home. That is a very, very good record, for Bournemouth. Now, this game has always favored West Ham. But guess what? I don't see West Ham winning. I think even if the likes of Bowen, the West Ham team on a good run of form, I see the likes of Krupi in West Ham, in Bournemouth doing something. I don't see West Ham. My prediction for this game is a draw. West Ham 2, Bournemouth 2. Now to the next game, Manchester City against Newcastle. For Manchester City, they must win this game. It's a no-brainer for them. They should win this game. Knowing fully well that if they want to chase Arsenal, these are the type of games they must win. These are the difficult period in which they cannot afford to drop points. If they can go away to win against Liverpool and they won at home against Fulham, keeping a clean sheet, they should do this. They should win against Newcastle. Now for Newcastle, they are on a very good run of form as well. They've won 3 games in the last 5 games in all competition. In fact, they went away at Karabakh and picked up a 6-1 victory. That's to show that there is goals in this team and they can score goals as well. Now, the last game they played at home was away from home, rather, was a draw. It was a win against Spurs, which is a very good one for them. Now, for Manchester City, the likes of Semenyo has to come to the party. The likes of Haaland, these guys needs to really step up and start picking up this team to where they want to be, to challenge for the title. If they win this game, they are 2 points behind Arsenal. Look at the incredible form that Maguire has already at the back line in defense, which is a very good one for them. So my prediction for this game is Manchester City 2, Newcastle 1. Now to the next game, Crystal Palace against Wolves. For Crystal Palace, they lost at home the last game against Burnley, which was a shame. They're playing against the Wolves side, who has really picked up form recently. Knowing fully well that they pick up a draw against Arsenal, they pick up a draw away from home, at home against Wolves, and they're going away to play against Arsenal. Rather, they're going at home away to play against Crystal Palace. Crystal Palace are a very shocking team recently. They've only won one in their last 5 games, which is not something they should be proud of. But in this fixture, they've dominated. Something just tells me they're not going to win. My prediction for this game is a draw. Crystal Palace 1, Wolves 1. To the next game, Nottingham Forest against Liverpool. We remember the shocking results in the first leg. Nottingham Forest defeated Liverpool 3-0. But now Nottingham Forest have changed coach. It's a different era. 3 coaches or 4 coaches only this season. They've had Nuno Espirito Santo, who coaches West Ham this season, was sacked. Postecoglou was sacked. Trondheim was sacked. Now they have Pereira. 4 different tactics, 4 different coaches, 4 different era this season. I think that would be an issue for them against Liverpool. They will not get that rhythm against this Liverpool side. Remember, this Liverpool had to grind out that result against Sunderland after the loss against Manchester City. I think they will do the same thing again away at Nottingham Forest. With the way I saw, it's not easy to predict a team that just has a new coach. With the way I saw Nottingham Forest Wolves play under this coach before he left, I don't think they stand a chance to beat Liverpool. I don't think so. My prediction for this game is Nottingham Forest 1, Liverpool 2. Even if something tells me Liverpool is going to win that game 1-0. But I stand with 2-1. Now to the next game, Sunderland against Fulham. For Sunderland, the only game they've lost at home was the game against Liverpool. Now they are hosting Fulham. I think it's going to be a very close one. It's going to be a fight. Knowing fully well that they've had this incredible run of form all through this season. And a Fulham side who are also capable of winning games and picking up points. But the last match for Fulham was a loss. It was a heavy defeat away at Manchester City. I think this game will be very, very close. Will be very close. My prediction for this game is Sunderland 1, Fulham 1. My prediction for this game is a draw. Sunderland 1, Fulham 1. Now to the biggest one for the weekend. Tottenham Hotspur against Arsenal. Arsenal has no business dropping points in this game. If they want to stand a chance to win the league, they need to pick up form from here. Thankfully, it's a fixture they've dominated for a while. Thankfully, it's a London derby, and they know how to play London derbies. But the only bad news for Arsenal is Tottenham Hotspur has a new coach. And when a team has a new coach, it's a different mentality, different structure, different thing, because you don't know what to expect. Igor Tudor was the coach of Juventus when he was sacked. And he was sacked rather. Now they are playing against an Arsenal team who is wounded, who has dropped points in a very, very awkward manner in the last couple of games. In fact, the games in which Arsenal has dropped points the most is those games they've played away from home. This is another away game against a Tottenham team that is also wounded at home because they lost their last match to Newcastle at home. So it is not easy for them. In fact, Tottenham Hotspur has not won at home in the last 5 games in the Premier League. A loss against Liverpool, a draw against Sunderland, a loss against West Ham, a draw against Manchester City, and a loss against Newcastle. How wounded do you think Tottenham Hotspur are again, apart from this result that we're seeing? How much more do they need these results in front of their fans? That's where it's going to be difficult for Arsenal. For Arsenal, they know that if they don't win this match, it's a problem. Because if Manchester City wins the next 2 games and Arsenal drop points here, Manchester City are going to top with 1 point. And Arsenal cannot afford to be in a mockery way or to be in this kind of situation in this time towards the end of the season. So they need to find a way to win that game against Tottenham Hotspur. Who has the more quality? Arsenal. Who has the better team? Arsenal. Who is more informed? Arsenal. But when it comes to London Derby, we have to give it to Arsenal because they are always there. In the last 5 London derbies against the two sides, Arsenal has dominated. They've won 4 of it. My prediction for this game is a win for Arsenal. My prediction is Tottenham Hotspur 1, Arsenal 3. Now to another big one this weekend, Everton against Manchester United. The reason why I call it a big one is the last game at the Old Trafford. Manchester United lost to a 10-man Everton team. Now there would be a revenge. There must be a revenge if Manchester United are very sure of their newfound form and their coach itself. Now they are on an incredible run of form, Manchester United, winning games back to back, except the draw away at West Ham. Now they are playing against an Everton team who spring up results in a time when you don't expect. When you expect Everton to win, they lose. When you expect them to lose, they win. They've lost the last match at home, right? It's going to be tough. My prediction for this game is Everton 1, Manchester United 2. Share your own predictions also in the comment section. Remember, correct scores are not always 100% right, and betting is not always 100% right. But my predictions are always good. So stick around. If you cannot play the correct scores, you can play goals. So let me know what you think about these predictions and also share your own predictions in the comment section. If you're new to this channel, hit the like button, subscribe, hit the notification bell so I come your way again next time. I remain your boy Mike Way. Stay cool. Cheers.